go to these other schools. Like, you want the schools locally to be competitive, well, then stay here and stop driving out to Orange County, Bellflower, Harbor City. Like, if you live over here, then stay over here. Or go to Maricosta, go to Redondo, wherever. Like, make the playing field even. It's not right now. It's a huge drop-off. Like, to me, just personally, I feel like our playoff run, like, we made those games, but they were easy. Like, just to me. Like, they were, and it shouldn't have been that easy. No, I from playing high school in the 90s, like, no game was easy. It was always somebody on the other team, to match. You got your 5 guys on this team, but they have 5 too. Now it's when you got your 5 or your 8, they got 1, and he's getting dominated out there. So, it's just it's not fair. And because everybody's at the same school. So some of these people need to, I think a lot of people need to start looking at other places to go. Like I said, you don't have to come to Lawndale, but places like even like a Long Beach Poly, like when they started spring ball this year, they had 28 players. Unheard of. Dorsey had 18. Unheard of. Like,
that's crazy.
That's ridiculous because all the kids that used to go to those schools are at the same 3 schools.
Yeah, Kelvin Thibodeau was at Dorsey. Went to Oaks Christian.
Everybody keep going. I just talked to a kid that was at Redondo. He was going to Bosco, like, to play DN or something. They already got 2 starting DNs, and he's a senior. Like, parents want to put their kid on that stage. I understand you want your kid to be on TV, but if you want your kid to be on TV, then let his behind get to college. That's when you get to TV. Like, everybody wants to be at these schools and play on this platform. Like, you can have it anywhere. Like, I feel like our platform is pretty good. I mean, we made it that way, but it can happen anywhere. You just got to go. Stop believing in all of the fake stuff, because I hear of a lot of guys in high school. I hear these names, and then on Saturdays, I never see them again. I'm going to see my guys. Like, they're going to be there. We're going to see our dudes.
Yeah. So. And as far as that, because, I mean, it feels like you have a school like Lawndale dating all the way back to like the 60s. And then when the school reopened, it was always a small school. It was always like a small environment. Even when I was there, my sister was there. Like, it's just been like that. And it's a tight-knit community. So from the inside out, you see all these bigger programs preaching family, this, that, and the third, but you have all these athletes there. And because they already have a rich history, they get the benefit of the doubt of saying, yeah, we're elite. But then if Lawndale says they're elite, the narrative kind of changes. It's like, oh, it was a flash in the pan. They're like one-hit wonders. So how do you gear up these young men to handle the scrutiny that they are going to face? Or maybe they just get ignored in the media. Like, things happen as far as like South Bay sports. So how do you mentally prepare them to handle that outside?
I mean, we just keep doing what we're doing. Honestly, worrying about the outside stuff doesn't matter. Like, I spoke to Jordan last week, and he's like, man, I watched the opening on TV. He's like, man, none of that stuff that crap don't even matter. Yeah, when you in college, none of that stuff matters. The goal is get to college, get there. Like, all this outside junk, these rankings and stars and all that stuff means nothing. Once all these dudes are signed and they're at their college, then they're going to care less. All they're going to care about is, dang, I'm in college. I'm on the field getting ready to play. Like, all that stuff is irrelevant. So,
and do you feel like the legacy at Lawndale has been firmly in place, or is it you're still kind of growing?
I mean, you never stop growing. I mean, every year is different. Like, every team is different. We embrace the challenge of having a different team. Like, we don't have the same team we had last year. Like, you pointed out all the guys we lost, but the signs of a good coach, good coaches, good staff is adjusting to your team. Like a Narbonne's and the Boscos and the Modern Days, I named them because those are the 3 schools that they talk about the most. Like, they're able to stay in their same system every year, and know what they're going to have because they recruit, 4 8th graders from this Pop Warner and then another 4, and then you got 2 freshman teams with 280 kids, stuff like that. Like, you know what you're going to have every year. We don't know what we're going to have every year. Like, that's just is what it is. Like, guys show up. We get some guys that transfer and they get developed and turned into what we need them to turn into. And then we go out there and do what we have to do, play how we have to play. Whether that means, we're always going to be physical. Like, that's just who we are. Even if we're passing. You ever heard of a physical passing game? Well,
yeah.
That's what we have. Physical passing game.
Crackback blocks all day.
Like, that's who we are. Like, so, the mentality's not going to change, but just adjusting to your team, it's always going to be the same. Like, just keep doing what we do.
And as far as, because, you got guys like Will Moore, certain cats of the team, like, they're from Inglewood. They're from the actual area. And in years past, some of those cats might have gone somewhere else. So do you feel like now, more than ever, even though there's this huge flurry of transfers and, like, assistant coaches, the head coach can't be everywhere at all times. Assistant coaches, their places, they see things, you hear things, stuff you probably can't even say. But there's a culture in high school football that exists. And do you feel like, is it now more than ever that more kids are staying home? If they do stay home, they're actually staying in their area compared to the ones you transfer out?
So, I'm from Inglewood. So, I'm in Inglewood a lot. And a lot of these guys are from Inglewood. And like I said, when I'm at the practices, our rules are different than the private schools. The public schools can't recruit and stuff like that. So, I'm not out there with my Lawndale jacket on talking to parents. But when I'm at the practice, I see it. When I'm at the games, they're right behind me. Hey, I'm such and such from such and such school. Hey, we can offer you a good deal. We'll give you half off to come to our private school. Ooh, half off? Because it's a private school, half off. Like, if people do their homework, like, our education is on par or above some of these private schools they send their kids to.
Yeah, Lawndale was one of the top academic schools in the state when I was there.
And people don't know that. They just assume that it's a private school, so they just plug their kid in there. When you could have came down the street. Like, you wasting gas. You barely see your kid. Your kid is living a college lifestyle, waking up at 5:30, 6 in the morning to travel on the 405 freeway to get to school and then play football and then still make it home at 8:30 and do his homework, like, every day. Like, it's too much. Like, it's schools that are around, if they do their homework, they can find it. And like I said, they don't all have to come to Lawndale, but Maricosta's a good school. Redondo's a good school. Like, there's other schools around the area. North Torrance isn't bad. Like, there's still schools around the area. We don't need everybody. Like, you don't need everybody to win. You don't need 190 people to win.
Yeah.
Like, you need your 11 and your 11. And that's it. It's good to have depth, but this is in college. It's not the pros. Like, give the kids a chance, an opportunity to go to college. And I just feel like a lot of teams aren't doing that. They sit you there. Me and you play the same position, but I'm a junior and you're a senior. Like, why are you staying here? Are you trusting the process still? Like, because you're not going to college. That's your process. I'm going to go, but you're not going to go because you trusted the process. You probably went to 18 other schools and started and could have went to San Diego State or something. Like, got somewhere. You don't have to. Everybody's have to go to LSU, but go somewhere, Azusa Pacific, whatever. Like, go get a free education. And a lot of people aren't doing that. So, and we'll never be like that. We'll never overdo it. Like, I'm not going to take 20 people. Yeah. When he came, I got a quarterback phone call. Hey, we like to play school. I already got a quarterback, man. Like, well, we can't come compete. Y'all are the same year. It makes no sense, dude. Like, you should check out another school.
And that's something that I think doesn't happen a lot. Ever. Like, the honesty there, like, yo, you shouldn't come to this school to try to play on a rental. And then you also I've seen stories where they told some cats to transfer because we bring in somebody better than you and leave. It's like that culture exists. And even you can look at like Pee Wee, Pop Warner. How much of like the Lawndale talent has actually stayed? Because like they have the Lawndale, Pop Warner teams and all that. But do you feel like now more than ever, a lot of those kids are staying too?
No. I still feel the same. It's still the same, man. These parents are still the same. Like, I talked to some 8th graders recently, some parents. Oh, Bosco, your kid is not a Bosco kid. Like, just be realistic. Like, Dad, sorry, you're 5'7", and Mom is 5'3". Son's 5'4" right now. Probably not gonna be that tall. He plays safety, maybe a Pop Warner, but he's not gonna play there, man. If you want your son to have a good high school experience, send him somewhere he's gonna play. Like, everybody's not gonna go to college, for football. But if he has grades, then go in for academics or something. But at least give him an opportunity to have an experience of being on the team and playing. We just got a guy that transferred in from Bosco now, and he's realistic with me. He wasn't going to play. Like, he couldn't even get on special teams. So he's just there, and your mom's paying $1,400 a month just to be here, just so I can, maybe get a ring, because it's not guaranteed. They didn't get one this last year. So you sitting there paying this money that you could be saving, and you live around the corner. Live around the corner, man. I'm glad his mom's, came to her senses now after 2 years of paying $1,400, which isn't even a public school coach stipend, barely, And it's just, they expect you to be that, and yeah, those dudes have all these facilities and all this stuff that they can offer. Well, they should. When 300 people paying $1,400 a month, you should.
That's a clip.
Us, we barely have. We make up our weight room. Yeah,
y'all weight room has been the same since I was a sophomore in high school.
So you've seen it.
10 years
the yard. High school. But, it's not what your weight room looks like. It's the work you put in there. And, we put in work in there. So, but we would love a new one. We would love a new one.
That's one of the reasons why I'm glad we got the whole, you and Coach Clark here, because I didn't get to ask this last time because, I didn't know you guys were going to go off and win state and all that. I knew y'all was going to have a good season, Coach Clark, but the fact that y'all won state, as coaches, the work y'all put in those dark hours, nobody sees. The time that y'all commit to film study, weight room, all that, not just the athletes, but how did that ring process feel? Describe how that championship moment felt for the listening audience.
Well, for me, the ring process, it wasn't a big deal for me personally, per se. I've had that experience twice. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of 2 championship teams. The ring process for me was awesome for the kids, for my kids, for the Lawndale community, to show them, hey, this is possible. All you've got to do is just put your mind to something and work hard, and you can attain any goal that you put your mind to. So that was the thing for me, is that, hey, you know what? Believe in what we're preaching and look at the outcome. We actually accomplished something so special that no one else has ever really accomplished. Going back on something you said earlier about being a one-hit wonder, I know a lot of musicians that are millionaires being one-hit wonders. I know a lot of people out there that have never won state championships. We can name a lot of programs that are around us. So the fact that we have an opportunity to say, in 2019, we actually won the state championship is something so special. So we embrace the one-hit wonder. But obviously, we're a different set of people, different set of men, different set of organization. We're winners in everything that we try to touch and try to accomplish. So obviously, if we're still here at Lawndale in 2020, we don't intend to go out there and go 5-5. We intend to go out here and compete for another championship. That's the process. That's the goal. That's the only reason why I do it. We don't do it for money. I do it to win championships and to change lives in my youth and help them have opportunities that, maybe some people don't see. So we like to be that rose in the concrete, so to speak, because things happen, dreams come true. So we're not going out here this year in 2020 saying, Jordan Wilmore is gone. Jordan Wilmore, I love Jordan Wilmore. Jordan Wilmore will forever be maybe the most legendary running back in Lawndale High School history. Jordan Wilmore will be forever in 2019 a sensational player. But Jordan Wilmore, I think of him every day like I think of all my kids, but I haven't thought of him in terms of football. Jordan Wilmore plays for the University of Utah. He is no longer a Lawndale Cardinal, so he's got a whole different deal to handle. If people are thinking about Jordan Wilmore and his impact on our season this year, then they're going to be in trouble, because you better get prepared for Michaelis